What's up, everybody? Once again, this is Carpo for an evening video here. The subject of tonight's video, I guess it's kind of a multifaceted subject. See if I can formulate myself. I've been out working in the yard for a while, and I've been sweating and moving, and you get your blood flowing. And when you get your blood flowing, you get your mind flowing. And when I do my best thinking is when I'm out there doing things, getting things accomplished. Something as dumb as digging holes, plant flowers. Anyway, I was inspired today by a comment I received. Somebody asked me, one of my subs asked me if what I thought about purpose in life and how important it is. And to have some sort of a direction or motive or end game you're working towards, whether it be whatever it might be. It could be a million things. And it's usually money for a lot of people, but I know most of us who have looked beyond that realize that money doesn't buy happiness. That's obviously becoming a pretty common theme. People can finally see that the rich are just as miserable as the poor. They just have more money to do more fun things and distract themselves. But that we forget that other people, I guess, have the same needs for purpose as we do. That it's not just something that, one day you realize, I want to do something with my life. It's not something that we learn in school or set forward as a life goal. It's more of something I believe that is inherent within us. It's something that is, whether genetic, spiritual, or otherwise, that we have a desire to learn and grow. And within that growth, we have a desire to accomplish something. And that accomplishment is a purpose. So, anyway, to get to the point, when I was trying to answer that question in a text, it was difficult to type out. And but what I was going to convey was the idea that life purpose is not something that people, create when they're young. We have this illusion that when you're young, you develop what you're going to do with your life. And I've heard more than a few people that are, they'll say something like, I'm 25, man, I never figured out what I wanted to do, and now I'm stuck and I have, nothing, no skills. Or I'll say, but, so what? You're 25. I'm almost 40, and I feel like I could learn a new skill tomorrow and start off on a new path. But it becomes more and more difficult as we get older to find a purpose. And that purpose doesn't always have to be a job, but a job or a hobby or something is usually working towards the purpose. In other words, we find a reason to live. And my belief is that reason is usually based around growth and building of a foundation of life and rules and principles to live by, and adhering to our principles. But we have to be flexible, be able to bend. But Manly Hall spoke about purpose a lot, and he was a big inspiration for me to realize that if you want purpose in life, you have to create it. It's not going to be made for you. You can decide what you want the end game to be and ask the universe for what you want. You can say, this is what I want to be, and put your mind towards it. And the universe will manifest itself to meet your intentions. However, a lot of people think that that's bogus but I think there's a misunderstanding about how intention works. See, you intend in the back of your mind to do something or be something or have a purpose or a goal in mind, and then you keep that in your mind. Your subconscious will work towards that goal behind the scenes, whether you're assisted by any spiritual means or entities, or whether it's something completely within you is irrelevant. The fact is, if you focus towards wanting something, you can attain that goal. For some, it's money. For me, it's It's uh, happiness, the happiness that comes from wisdom, but not a self-righteous happiness, because I could just as easy, you know, I know it's easy to think that we could just be happy if we just had anything we needed at any time. And I think that would bring the exact opposite of happiness. It would bring just a placid, mundane type attitude towards life. That we need the variety, the spice. But whatever we want to work towards, whatever it may be, it's never too late to step out. And I've heard of people who, after retirement age, go on to write magnificent novels and books, nonfiction books, botany. There was one very famous botanist, it was a female in the 1800s who, after she retired, wrote one of the most famous, books about botany at the time, and contributed a lot. And this is after an age when a lot of people figure they're on the decline. And it's my belief that everything that we believe about our lives and our ages and when we're supposed to be doing things is completely fabricated, of course, by society. That there is no age where you just reach lucidity and you're mature. For some, they mature very early, in their teen years. For some, it takes until they're 40 or 50 or 60, depending on, where they're at in their, level and how they can handle themselves. And I define maturity as how well you can handle yourself with any group of people. That's my definition. I don't believe that maturity means you're finally working for the system and making enough money. Maturity has nothing to do with income, but it has a lot to do with work, whether it be internal or external. And we're all working towards something. So understanding that work and that service towards mankind and towards yourself, understanding to love yourself first and then love thy neighbor, understanding to find purpose in whatever you do, whether it's a very small or a very large thing, and you'll find that purpose kind of presents itself. Many of the things that have become purposes in my life I never intended to be in the beginning. It's just that they fell into my lap and I made them part of it. So I guess all I can really say about purpose is we created ourselves. Nobody can give it to us or tell us what our purpose should be, although we can take suggestions from others who are in similar mindsets as to what path might work. For example, a very spiritual, confused person who doesn't know what to seek can go ask around and talk to people and say, what fits me, Maybe I should do yoga or meditation, or maybe I should, take on Islam, or whatever you want to believe, It's whatever fits your lifestyle. And so your purpose is very flexible and can come at any age. I don't care if you're 15 or 50, because I probably have 15-year-old subs and I probably have 50-year-old subs. And we're all on the same type of frequency or thinking patterns on some things, and on other things completely different opinions. But many of the similarities shared. Throw age to the dogs, it becomes irrelevant. Yeah. I guess there's nothing more frustrating than when somebody who's like twice your age says, oh, I was young like you once, you'll see. It's like, well, maybe I don't want to see that, and I'll see something else. Of course, there are universal truths that we all experience, such as, people say, oh, you'll regret when you get older, but you don't have to regret. It depends on how you're living now. In other words, everyone wants to project how they think that you'll feel, or what they think your purpose should be, or what will make you happy, and only you can find that truth. And I've discovered that the hard way, after looking through many different avenues to understand. I've always been very stubborn and independent, but I realized that you have to understand what moves society as a whole in order to understand, in other words, I know a lot of people would say, create your own spiritual reality and just ignore everything that you've learned. In that sense, nobody's ever created anything. No inventor today is worth a damn, or no writer is worth a damn, because they're using a language that was already created by people before them. In other words, everything we do today is built on something that people before us created. And it's important to remember that. It's a really important point. So I'm going to save that actually for the next video because I wanted to talk about that subject deeper. But finding purpose is a key element to keeping yourself motivated and driving yourself. And I'm working on it myself, because when you lose desire for wealth and money and monetary gain, you hit a point in life, those of you who have done that, who have realized that money is not your goal, you go through some turmoil and difficult times trying to find out what you really do want, because you can't find an ultimate spiritual truth unless you're willing to settle for what others have told you. So once again, you're kind of on your own. And we're all on our own, but we're all together. And that's the way to see it. So, peace and love, everybody. Talk to you soon.